for not one penny down. The used car giant, Bloomington Chrysler Plymouth, Bloomington.
Of nature and travel films for adults will be presented on Thursday, September 20th through October 25th at the Hopkins Library at noon. The Walker Arts Center will hold a gala celebration for the grand opening of their new facilities September 23rd from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. The third annual St. Paul 10K race will be held on Sunday, September 23rd, 9 a.m. to benefit the American Lung Association. Call 298-6349.
Available at Hal Sportswear.
Serving and informing the Twin Cities for 4 decades. This is WCCO Television, Minneapolis, St. Paul. And now, Dave Moore, Pat Miles, Mike Fairborn, and Mark Rosen bring you Channel 4's 10 p.m. report.
Good evening, everyone. When was the last time we could tell you about a sellout crowd watching the Twins play a baseball game?
Well, as unlikely as it may have seemed just a year ago, it is happening tonight at the Metrodome. It is Fan Appreciation Night at the Dome, and lured by the chance to catch some free baseballs, perhaps win a new car, or even a trip to the Bahamas, thousands of fans turned out for tonight's game. The final total shows more than 52,000 fans showed up to watch tonight's game.
Of course, they were also drawn by the opportunity to watch a team fighting it out for the Western Division lead. And for an update on that, we're going to go to Tom Hanneman at the Metrodome. Tom?
Dave, Cleveland has come up with 3 runs in the 8th inning, but the Twins have 7 at this point. Top of the ninth, 7-3 Minnesota. Talk about Fan Appreciation Night. I don't think the fans could have appreciated the Twins more than they have this evening. It has been wild here throughout the evening. The game was delayed half an hour just to let the throng in. But once things got underway, the fireworks started immediately. The Twins scored 6 times in the first inning. Ken Herbeck, who's playing hurt, tripled in 1 run. Mickey Hatcher scoring here in the first. Herbie's 100th RBI of the year. Indian starter Ed Schultze was yanked afterwards after failing to record a single out. And the last word we had, Oakland was leading Kansas City 4-2 in the 8th inning, so the Twins might be back in first place before this evening is over. Dave, back to you.
Wonderful. It is, as we say in the business, a whole new ball game for the Twins, Tom. Thank you.
You bet.
Quite a scare at Twin Cities International Airport tonight for passengers aboard a Continental Airlines flight. The plane was taking off from the airport on its way to Houston when the cowling over one of the engines blew apart. Larry Kuttner has the story.
The plane was a DC-9 with a full load of 108 passengers and 5 crew members. Shortly after its scheduled 4:35 takeoff, there was a problem.
All we heard was a, bang, like everybody braced. It was real smooth, under control. Crew had it all under control.
Although the pilot described it simply as engine failure, the twisted metal cowling on the plane's port engine tells of something more than a simple loss of power. According to passengers, the crew responded very quickly. Everyone was told to brace themselves and that the plane would be returning immediately to the airport.
For a while, it was really something. I'm a pilot myself, and so I know what those trees down on the ground can do, and I was looking around on the ground for a place where we could possibly go down, and the best thing I could see was the river. And I can't swim, so I didn't want to go in the river.
The crippled plane landed without incident. The passengers, although a bit shaken, were uninjured. A spokesperson for Continental Airlines said they had not yet determined the cause of the engine failure. By 6:15, all of the passengers were on other airplanes, heading directly, and in some cases indirectly, down to Houston. With photographer Brad Early, Larry Kuttner, WCCO Television News at the Minneapolis International Airport.
The death toll from yesterday's suicide bombing at the American Embassy Annex in Beirut has been revised downward tonight, but questions about security are increasing. Authorities now say that 12 people died in the attack, including 2 Americans. Today, the checkpoint where the truck entered the embassy compound was sealed off, and an Assistant Secretary of State arrived on the scene to begin an investigation into that bombing. It is the third time a suicide bomber has attacked U.S. soldiers and diplomats in Beirut in the last 18 months. In the meantime, the bodies of 2 American servicemen killed in yesterday's blast are on their way home tonight. The bodies of Army Chief Warrant Officer Kenneth Welsh of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Navy Petite Officer First Class Michael Ray Wagner of Zebulon, North Carolina, were put on a plane today that will return them to the United States. Dave?
A 22-year-old unarmed Minneapolis man with a long criminal record was shot and killed during a brief scuffle with police early this morning. They were part of the police decoy unit, and by later in the day, as Dave Nimmer reports, some community leaders were angry over the activities of that unit.
The police decoy unit has never been particularly popular on the city's near north side, but following yesterday's shooting, there was an even more public outcry.
A lot of people have stopped to give assistance and have been arrested, as well as people who have got involved with actual crime. But the fact that it's set up to lure us in and send our people to jail, we should have did something to stop it long ago.
Moss plans to meet with black leaders Monday morning and then to carry their grievances to Mayor Don Frazier.
Department administrators are not likely to change their minds about the decoy unit. They admit it has hazards and risks, but say its value outweighs them all.
I am not going to apologize for an aggressive police operation that has police officers risking their necks out there, getting assaulted, making arrests of muggers and robbers and rapists, whether it's Gail Plawacki or David Neighbor or whoever. They're doing a beautiful job. I totally support it. I don't apologize for it.
Boza said the decoy unit officers acted properly in this morning's shooting, that Sal Scott was killed because he refused to surrender and instead lunged at Officer William James. The patrolman's shotgun went off during the brief struggle. This is the first death resulting from the decoy operations. Dave Nimmer, WCCO Television News in Minneapolis.
There is another segment of the Minneapolis community that's upset with local law enforcement officials. Representatives of the city's homosexual community met with Mayor Don Frazier today to air their complaints that the police have been harassing and arresting homosexuals for no apparent reason. The mayor says he plans more meetings about the problem. Pat?
Their days on the picket line came to an end today. For some 70,000 striking GM workers. We'll have that story in a moment.
If you're eating light, you should know that for the same 180 calories, you could have this much beef, this much fish, this much chicken, or this much Hormel ham. Because this is new light and lean ham from Hormel, trimmed extra lean to be extra light, but it doesn't taste it because it's 100% real Hormel ham. New light and lean ham from Hormel. It's ham in a whole new light.
My husband, Alex Karras, with a testimonial for Lazy Boy chair. He's saying his Lazy Boy recliner knocks him out. He's comfortable knowing a genuine Lazy Boy chair has over 50 years of quality built in. And he says Lazy Boy is the original recliner, with features still unmatched today. Lazy Boy, there's only one. Unless, of course, you count Alex.
That's cute, Susan.
Look for the Lazy Boy fall sale in this Sunday's magazine section. Hey folks, your Datsun dealers dare you to compare our Sentra to the competition. Compare Sentra for quality. You'll see why it's America's best-selling import. Compare Sentra for selection. 9 distinctive styles, one just right for your driving needs. Compare Sentra for price, just $53.99. Find out what the competition doesn't want you to know. Test drive the Sentra today. We dare you to compare. Make your best deal now at your all-American Datsun dealers.
Don't try to slow me down. I'm going for cattle company tonight. Well, it's a steak worth going for. Tender and done just right. 'Cause when I'm going for steak and I'm going for fun, oh, cattle company is the one. Going for cattle company tonight.
I'm Stuart Anderson. My ranching experience means you'll get a great steak at a great price at my cattle company restaurants. That's a steak worth going for.
Go for cattle company tonight.
Come Monday, workers at 17 General Motors plants are ordered to report back to work, the result of a tentative agreement announced early today between GM and the United Auto Workers Union. According to those familiar with the contract, it guarantees job security for GM workers for 6 years. A $1 billion fund has been set up by GM to ensure their jobs. It provides a 3% wage increase, and the 3-year agreement promises that General Motors will keep jobs in the United States. Job security had been one of the main issues in that walkout. Pat?
Today's announcement is important to two groups in the Twin Cities tonight. One group that works for General Motors and also the union members who work at the Ford plant in St. Paul. Today's agreement is sure to affect both of them. Alan Cox reports.
It's far from GM's largest facility, 130 UAW members at the parts warehouse, and it's far enough along the production cycle that work stoppages at other GM plants probably would not have led to layoffs here for another week or two. Still, the tentative agreement was big news this morning among Edina workers.
They're relieved this morning to find out that we do have a tentative agreement, because we've been up in the air not knowing whether we're going to have an agreement, whether we're going to go out on strike, or what the situation might be.
All that remains is to bring details of the national agreement to the members. Local issues were resolved here last month. But there are local issues outstanding and a national contract to be reached at the largest auto installation in the Twin Cities, the Ford plant here in St. Paul.
Well, local issues here have been sort of at a standstill in the last week or so since the International Union named General Motors as the target. I would expect that the local talks, the local bargaining would pick up now that there's a settlement at GM.
The union says Ford has sacrificed safety for productivity by speeding up operations. Those work rules and others are on the table locally. Job security is the major issue overall, security in the face of automation and expansion overseas. Both Ford and its union will watch carefully how that's addressed at GM and whether it would work elsewhere. Alan Cox, WCCO Television News, St. Paul.
A couple of economic measurements for us to ponder tonight. During the month of August, the Consumer Price Index rose 0.5%. which reflects a 13% increase in vegetable prices. For the first 8 months of this year, prices have risen at an annual inflation rate of 4.2%. And in something of a surprise move, Morgan Guaranty Trust of New York dropped its prime lending rate 1/4 point to 12.75%. Pat?
New Jersey Congressman James Florio warns that there are 203 hazardous waste sites that pose serious health threats to the people who live near them. 10 of those sites are here in Minnesota. The list of locations was reportedly compiled by the Environmental Protection Agency as new candidates for cleanup under an expanded Superfund program. The list was leaked to the congressman by an EPA employee. Florio charges that the EPA had planned to withhold that list until after the November election to avoid public outcry. EPA officials say they had intended to release the names soon anyway. Well, Mike.
Yes.
How are you?
You want to know how the weekend's going to do, I'm sure.
Well, we're all wondering about that.
I'm doing fine. Just came on from the Weather Center there.
It's kind of a last-minute dash over here.
We were just kind of checking and seeing how fast the precip's coming in from the west. It's on its way, that's for sure.
Precip's winning 7-1, I understand.
Last full day of summer, 84 degrees today, 54 for an overnight low. That's right. Autumn begins tomorrow at 3:33 in the afternoon. And no precipitation yet, although we are watching some moving in. And look what our temperatures have done this week. That's kind of an interesting pattern, really. 74 degrees starting out the first of the week, then to 81, then to 91, back down to 71, 84 degrees again today. So which way are we headed now? Well, the weather map here almost tells us. First of all, here's the 90s out here in the Dakotas that were experienced today, 80s over the southern part of the state. But look, temperatures highs today only in the 30s in parts of Canada, and all of that pushing southward, producing snow in the northern Rockies, at least in Montana and Utah early this morning, and moisture coming up from the south ahead of that low pressure system that's centered back in the Dakotas right now. A lot of moisture associated with it, and it's all sweeping our way for quite a change. Right now you can see that there are some clouds moving over us from the south. There's more clouds moving in from the west. We may see a break from time to time throughout the day tomorrow, but for the most part it's going to be cloudy, it's going to be windy, it's going to remain on the warm side for at least one more day, okay? Here's where the rain is occurring right now. Out in the Dakotas, even some thunderstorm activity is beginning to build up, and also down in parts of Arkansas and eastern Texas. Nothing really forming too much back out to the west, but it's just starting to all come together. Tomorrow at this time, the cold front will be very close to us, and even if it does move through, it's going to take it a while for the temperatures to begin to drop. But it looks like by Sunday and by the first part of next week, they certainly will. In the meantime, tomorrow, high temperatures back up into the mid to upper 70s, but all that cold air pooling up to the northwest of us is going to really begin to move in, and our extended forecast brings almost winter in here by the middle part of next week. Mostly cloudy right now in the Twin Cities, 72 degrees, humidity 44%, southeast winds at 16, 29, 69, and the barometer is rising. Our forecast look like this. Will be partly cloudy, windy tonight, still southeast 15 to 25 and gusty, 58 for an overnight low. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, windy, scattered showers, a high of 78, maybe even an isolated thunderstorm or two. And then tomorrow night, still occasional showers and thunderstorms, 53, and just about the same thing for Sunday, except that we are going to start cooling off a little bit, 74 degrees. But look what's going to happen on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. High temperatures dropping into the 60s for Monday with a chance of showers, remaining cloudy, but high temperatures only in the low 50s by the first part of next week, with the low temperatures dropping into the 30s.
So we were smart if we got out this week and enjoyed it.
If you enjoyed the last week of summer, you enjoyed some nice weather.
Maybe the end of it, too. Huh?
No, November. I'm still holding out for strong, warm weeks in November.
You're waiting for Indian summer.
Praying for it. Keeping Minnesota horse racing above board and off the drugs. Commissioners began their work on that issue today, and we'll tell you about it when the 10 p.m. report resumes in just a moment.
Years ago at mealtime, there was always fresh homemade bread. Now, Country Hearth Breads bring back the taste of the past. Made with hearty wheat and grains, buttermilk, and honey, Country Hearth Breads are naturally wholesome. Stone ground wheat is this week's special at your favorite store. Use it for hearty, delicious sandwiches. Country Hearth Stone Ground Wheat. Enjoy nature's gift of goodness. Bring home the family of Country Hearth Breads. Country Hearth Breads, they're naturally good.
There's a fresh new place in your grocer's case, and it's called the Turkey Store. Turkey fresh and light you can fix tonight, and then come back for more. The Turkey Store. Welcome to the Turkey Store, where you can buy turkey that's as meaty as beef
and as easy as chicken. Turkey, fresh for tonight. 5 varieties, easy to fix. Breast slices, drumstick steaks, roast, and more. Turkey Store turkey, meaty as beef, easy as chicken.
Always with easy cooking instructions.
There's a fresh new place in your grocer's case. Come to the Turkey Store.
The First Banks know that as life goes by,
all I need is 5 cents.
getting a loan gets a little more complicated.
All I need is 500.
Luckily, all the loan information you need.
Dad, don't call me Dad. All I need is 5,000.
Forget it, Four Eyes.
Is as close as your friendly First Bank, or call our Tele-Information Center.
All I need is 50,000.
No problem.
When you have questions about credit, your First Bank has the answers.
Other dealers may be short on trucks, but at Towsley we've made a huge special purchase. Choose from over 584 and 85 trucks at Towsley Ford Subaru, White Bear Lake.
Aren't you going to give your Aunt Louise a big kiss?
Hey, I'm 8 years old. I don't kiss unless it's serious.
The Jeffersons, tonight at 10:40 on Channel 4.
Well, doping a horse won't turn a nag into something like Secretariat, and to make sure horse racing runs fair and square, medications are tightly regulated around a racetrack. Today, the Minnesota Racing Commission began addressing the issue of keeping the fledgling industry here clean. Marcia Fleur reports.
Racehorses are athletes put under incredible stress on the track, but certain painkillers and even some common medications near race time can turn a loser into a winner. As one veterinarian told the commission today, certain medications can change a race between horses into a race between drugs.
While we approve the use of medication and we want them to have it and we owe it to them, at the time of the contest, they must be free from pharmacologically active drugs.
But how far the commission will go regulating medications at the track triggered some heated debate today between Commissioners Dan Gustafson and Rosemary Frayling. Frayling favors rules adopted in 18 other racing states. Gustafson would include some medications approved in those states, which he believes could affect the outcome of a race.
Some drugs are certainly would be within our realm to allow, that would basically allow the industry to flourish as well as not hurt horses. And I think that's what we have to have an open mind and recognize that that we can hurt ourselves sometimes by just saying no. The best way to exclude any kind of problem whatsoever is just not to treat it at all or just ignore it.
If we can regulate properly and help an industry grow and thrive, that's wonderful. But our role in here is not to be able to make an industry money. Our role here is here to regulate an industry for the purpose that it's intended to.
Commission Chairman Ray Elliott says that the drug issue is probably the single most important thing that the Commission will have to decide before the track opens next summer. This is Marcia Fleur, WCCO Television News at the Spring Hill Conference Center.
Understandably, Japan is becoming increasingly nervous as an inflamed Soviet nuclear sub draws ever closer. The sub was capable of launching a nuclear missile 800 miles, and it's only 40 miles off the island of Okushima. A Soviet escort tug has been trying to extinguish the fire. About a fourth of the 400 Honeywell protesters showed up in Hennepin Municipal Court today for their trial date assignments. And the Foshay Tower opened the new observation deck on its 31st floor today, replacing the one IDS closed on its 52nd floor last year.
The Twins began their series against Cleveland tonight on a winning note, both on the scoreboard and in the stands. Ralph John Fritz is up next with the story when the 10 p.m. report continues.
There's never been a cereal like this before. There's
Raisin in the middle
of Kellogg's Raisin Squares.
Raisin in the middle.
Kellogg's Raisin Squares.
It's the perfect combination.
Whole wheat sweetened with raisin, all wrapped up in a perfect square. It's very unexpected to find it there.
There's raisin in the middle.
Natural sweet raisin.
Raisin in the middle.
Kellogg's Raisin Squares.
Raisin in the middle. You're gonna like it there.
Kellogg's Raisin Squares.
There's so much more to share.
More new locations.
There's so much more.
More smiling faces.
There's so much more.
Like a doctor of your own.
There's so much more.
Healthcare close to home.
There's so much more.
Join Share now. Ask your employer or call Share today.
There's so much more to share.
One glass of milk has enough calcium and protein to help the average person through an ordinary day.
But who has ordinary days?
Milk's got more of what you need to make it through the day. Milk helps keep you going to the top all the way.
Have an extra glass of milk. It'll give you more of what you need to help you get a handle on things.
Have more milk, 'cause milk's got more.
Hey there, laddie. Now there's an easier way. With new press-in-place caulk from 3M. Just unroll, press in place, and remove liner.
Hey, that looks great.
Aye, and no mess. And press-in-place caulk will last for 20 years. Our 3M will replace it free.
Wanna buy a used caulking gun?
There's just one rule for doing it yourself. Don't do it yourself without 3M.
I don't recall this ever happening before to a Twins team. In one game, they went on a streak and into a slump.
In one game.
Right. They scored but one run in the last 8 innings. Is that something that ought to concern us?
Nope.
I think so.
Not looking at the last 9 games. I'm still rocking from that first inning. I'm going to accentuate the positive, Dave.
Good for
6
you.
runs in the first inning. I'm still thankful, and a lot of fans are too. It was Fan Appreciation Night at the Dome, and they had a lot to be thankful for. The Twins got off to a fast start tonight and beat Cleveland 7-3. Of course, the Twins appreciated the fans as well, all 52,000 of them. That's a new Twins record, and the Twins cranked out 6 runs in the very first inning. Ron Washington's triple down the right field line scored the first one. Kirby Puckett raced home from first after he led off the game with a bunt single. The first 4 Twin batters of the game got base hits. Here's number 4, Kent Herbeck, who replayed Washington's triple down the line. Mickey Hatcher scored on this hit. That was Herbeck's 100th RBI of the season. He picked up another later in the game. Indian starter Ed Schultz walked the next batter and was pulled from the game without even getting an out. Puckett's second at-bat of the inning, a 2-run, bases loaded, bloop single to right. Not a bad inning for the rookie. 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and a run. John Butcher was able to coast after that big inning, and Butcher earned his 13th win to 9 losses, a 9-hitter. They go at it again tomorrow afternoon at the Dome. Cleveland ace Bert Blyleven, who's won 17 games against Ken Schramm. There you see California leading Texas 1-0 in the third, and look at this one. Kansas City, on a George Brett grand slam home run, has taken the lead over Oakland 7-4 in the 8th. If it stays the same, the Twins stay 1 out. In the National League, There you see the standings now. The Twins at the moment are a half out along with the Angels. In the National League, St. Louis again over the Cubs. What's happening to Chicago? And it was New York over Montreal 6-2, so the magic number stays at 3 for the Cubs. Well, Cretin threw a scare into 6th-ranked St. Thomas, but fell short 27-14 the Cadets. Cretin quarterback Steve Walsh delivered 2 first-half touchdowns, including a 77-yarder, but this drive was cut short by John Strugleski, number 85. The linebacker went goal line to goal line with a return, 100 yards. The interception spectacular, but it was the Cadets' only score of the first half, 14-7 at halftime. The Cadets put it all together in the second half, scoring 20 unanswered points. Kurt Streif scored on a rollout, putting St. Thomas ahead 20-14 in the third. That final was 27-14, St. Thomas over Cretin. Other scores, number 1 Coon Rapids over Moundsview 28-20, Richfield down Burnsville 21-13. Edina over St. Louis Park and Worthy 42-6, and Jefferson 27-8 winners over Kennedy. Woodbury by 4 over Stillwater, Apple Valley defeating Red Wing handily. And Centennial shutting out St. Anthony. Spring Lake Park down to Ramsey 37-7. Wayzata over Armstrong by a field goal. Harding 38-0 over Humboldt in St. Paul City play. Fridley defeated Blaine. Eden Prairie beat Glencoe 33-14. And that is it from the high school scoreboard, and we're going back to Twins Extra.
Can the Cubs blow that?
No way. That's what we've been saying for how long?
I can't believe it. They only have 3 games left. Tomorrow on a doubleheader Sunday, don't they?
No, they have more than that. They have, I believe it's 9.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
There's another week left.
They still could, though.
That'd be awful. The Columbia Journalism Review found this bit of reportage in the Philadelphia Observer. This is the tail end of an article there. Zimmerman's top assistant, Robert Kinch, declined comment. Zimmerman himself also begged off. And so did the state police commissioner, Daniel F. Dunn, who had died. We hope you have a nice weekend. Thank you, and good night.
A Channel 4 editorial on the child sex abuse trials with Ron Handberg.
For several weeks, our attention has been focused on the child sex abuse trial of Robert and Lois Bentz. Now it has ended in acquittals. Interviews with jurors suggest 3 factors produced the not guilty verdicts: sloppy police work, the judge's criticism of the prosecutor, and the jurors' refusal to accept the children's testimony as sufficient proof. 6 children, ages 6 to 12, including 2 of the Bentz's own children, told the jury about engaging in sexual activities with the defendants. The jurors wanted corroborating evidence. Scott County Attorney Kathleen Morris failed to produce it. But after the verdict was in, she could not accept the jury's decision.
That means I didn't prove my case beyond a reasonable doubt. That doesn't at all mean that they're not, that they're innocent.
Under the United States Constitution, those who stand accused of a crime are innocent until proven guilty. In this case, the jury has spoken. The Bentzes are innocent. And so are the remaining 24 defendants in the alleged sex rings, unless and until proven otherwise. Kathleen Morris is to be commended for rooting out this scandal, for having the courage to press on in the face of vicious personal attacks. But we worry that she cares so much for the children, that she is so passionately involved in their emotional plight, that she cannot act as an effective prosecutor. We believe that the next round of cases ought to be conducted in a way that removes her as an issue for the defense to exploit. As much as it hurts, she should ask someone else to take her place in court. It might be the best thing Kathleen Morris can do to help the children she so desperately wants to protect. I'm Ron Handberg.
We offer equal time for an opposing view.
Sunday Magazine is about life in Minnesota. Here's to life in Minnesota from the new magazine about life in Minnesota. Sunday Magazine in the Minneapolis Star and Tribune.
We say 1 quart Roundup is more affordable than ever. What do you say?
I can afford Roundup. For about $20 an acre, Roundup will knock out quack grass, roots and all, with no carryover.
I can afford Roundup because I can rotate to beans or alfalfa whenever I want.
For first-rate control of quackgrass, farmers like you agree they can afford
Roundup.
Roundup herbicide, as affordable as it is effective.
Man does not live by food alone. He needs other things, like tools, sporting goods, and automotive supplies. That's why at Holiday Plus we sell both food and merchandise under one roof at incredibly low prices. Holiday Plus, low food prices plus discount merchandise.
This concludes today's regular broadcast schedule from WCCO Television, Channel 4, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota. Our studios are located in the Midwest Communications Center, 90 South 11th Street in Minneapolis, and our transmitter is located in Shoreview, Minnesota.